Welcome back. Slam Pigs Cruise Control number 17. Coming at you live, as always, right here on Hibiki TV on YouTube. And another week's coming on 205 Live. Another new addition to the 205 roster. Some changes. We'll get to all that. As you see on the thumbnail. No, there's not a new champion. Just us being a little funny. But Logan Myers, what's going on? My right-hand man, Mr. 205 Live. Welcome back. What's going on, Valen?
It's always good to be back in the house that Logan built of 205 Live and Cruise Control. If you guys want to check me out on Twitter at LoganMyers144, please go look on YouTube right now. Search Future Wrestling Podcast. Go like, subscribe, and enjoy.
There it is. And man, welcome back. Yes, get over, check out Future Wrestling Podcast with yourself and Proceed. And I tell you what, I got to be honest. I don't like waiting around for people when I have certain plans made for shows, and that's fine. But there's certain people that, man, I can't even get mad at because week by week, I love having them here more and more. Colin, man, we're scheduled to go to 11. All apologies to listeners. But like I said, if there's any analysis worth waiting back for a co-host to be on it, you're worth the wait. I hope you had a good day, and thank you for fitting us in. I know your real life schedule's hectic now. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back, and how was your week?
It was pretty solid. Good wrestling. I have myself an actual job now, which is fun. I go in tomorrow morning, bright and early, 4 a.m. So, busy schedule now, but I'm sure I'll manage. You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. I also have I do a little blogging now. Colin's Thoughts, no one asked for.wordpress.com. Basically, I just review wrestling. So I have one of last week's NXT and Monday Night Raw up right now. I am not going to be able to do SmackDowns because, I had to do stuff today, but I should have NXT's up by tomorrow.
Very good. And I did catch your very first one. I DM'd you. I did like it. Guys, go there, check it out. All the links in the description below where you can catch us what we do. Anyone swings by the live chat tonight, as always, we will do our best to man the chat. But like you said, right there in your little... I know, as always, at the Hibiki TND. Everybody knows that by now. And your little initial thing there, Colin, about faces changing, and that's definitely what the synopsis of this week's episode is. Because quite frankly, the actual 205 episode we have to review this week, not really a lot happened. It was kind of like, bleh. As everyone knows, Kalisto, the biggest news coming out of the 205 Live this week, made his debut in the division on Raw. Something that should have been pretty much from the get. And I think in like episode 1 or 2, Logan, I think that was one of your first ever segments. Was about how you felt Kalisto should have been. Not in this kind of role, maybe. I don't know. I feel like they've. It's kind of like what we're seeing with Bray Wyatt now in the news today, and we can get to that too if you guys want, which I'm sure we will. It's kind of like they've waited too long with the Sister Abigail storyline. So do people really care at this point? Do people give a shit about Kalisto? Is he salvageable for being just cannon fodder? As a jobber, pretty much, for the last 2 years, for the most part. And I know, Logan, you're so hyped and positive about this addition to the roster, so by all means, let everyone know your thoughts on what this means to the division and how it saved it, in your opinion.
Positive? There's no positive about Kalisto being on the division now. It's as bad as Colin being relevant. It's never going to happen. But I will say this. Colin at least has charisma on the mic compared to Kalisto. I'd rather have Nakamura freaking talk on the mic than a damn Kalisto.
Ugh. Would you rather have Bailey or Kalisto? There's I feel like the ultimate two worst promos in the company possibly right now. I don't know if Colin agrees with that.
Bailey. I would pick Bailey. At least I would want to see her ass.
For what it's worth, and we'll get to it later, I was really worried when I saw that they gave Kalisto a mic with this week's show, but he yelled a lot in it, and he pandered, so I think maybe he covered his ass for his... So we've definitely seen a lot worse, and we all know that promo we're talking about with the draft last year with Kalisto, but it was okay this week. We'll get to that, but I mean, Colin, what are your thoughts on adding Kalisto? I don't feel like it hurts anything. I'll give it a chance. It's week 1. I don't see it could do any worse for his career, the company right now, honestly. I don't know.
I mean, hey, he's a two-time U.S. champion. So, I mean, he's done something, one-time NXT Tag Team Champion. But I'm going to how I feel about Kalisto joining the division. I tweeted something when I was live tweeting Raw on Monday, and it was because they were in the main event again, and Kalisto was like some big reveal, and my tweet was Kalisto being the reveal as the newest addition is like getting ready to nut and then just going to bed. Like it had nothing to back it. Like when it was like I wanted this to go where it did. I wanted them to add a new cruiserweight that way, Enzo had someone big to face.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like any of the cruiserweights wouldn't be good against them. I'm just saying like with the way they were planning out the storyline, I figured, okay, cool. They're probably going to add someone to, counteract the fact that now no one can challenge him for the title. Awesome. Who's it going to be? And in my mind, when Kurt Angle was like, I signed this guy, I'm thinking, oh shit, okay, big surprise. Kota Ibushi.
And I was going to say, did you watch it? Because you're on the West Coast. I don't ever watch it live. So I don't know if Logan, you watched it live.
I was watching it live because I was streaming it on my computer. Don't tell anyone, who might want to pay attention. But I'm watching like Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr., fucking the return of Rey Mysterio, or the Hurricane. No, it's Kalisto.
Logan, did you watch it live on Raw?
Yes.
So the way because I caught it on Hulu, but it got spoiled for me on Twitter because I didn't care that much. I didn't know it was going to be a spoiler like that. But I could see when I did catch the replay for all the podcasts I got to review this week, the way that was built up with pushing Neville to the side on the outside, even your top guy. I was like, oh shit, they really dropped the ball here. That should have been saved. And no, not Kalisto. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm on board with what your guys' thoughts are. I don't think it's bad. I just think he's miscast. He shouldn't be like top tier, right? Like he's in no position. The fact that he's a former two-time United States champion, he beat a guy who right now they want to sweep under the rug and pretend never worked for that company. So that doesn't do him any favors, I think, history-wise.
Well, he beat two guys who they don't want to remember, right back in Del Rio.
Exactly. I don't know.
Here's what I hope they do. I hope. Obviously, Kalisto is going to challenge Enzo for the title. Yeah. I hope Enzo beats him, and I hope they kind of keep doing this. Not necessarily like they don't have to like. Obviously, a Kota Ibushi or a Zack Sabre Jr. would be cool to see, but I kind of hope they keep adding people. That way, we'll see a big name come in there, and it doesn't even have to be a big name. A guy who I think
Tajiri, bring Tajiri back for a one shot.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Tajiri would have been. I miss the fact that like I was really upset when I figured out like he was leaving because I would have loved to see like what Tajiri would have done in the division if he would have been cruiserweight champion again. But I mean, a guy who's really underutilized, Buddy Murphy. He's in NXT right now. He's not 205 right now, but I mean, I don't think he's that far off from the mark. Have him come in. He's a good wrestler, and he could easily go with someone like Enzo Amore. They had a feud, with their tag teams back in NXT, and I'm sure he would be a great one-time opponent for the show. Maybe after he's done with his program with Enzo, send him back to NXT. It doesn't have to, he doesn't have to stay there.
I heard that Tajiri, with him being like sent home or released or whatever that was, it was more a case of him not wanting to work as much anymore because he's older. He's a fan. I've heard both sides. I don't know what to believe. And I've also heard that in the CWC tournament, when he was in and Kendrick, how they gave that, turning it around story to Kendrick, that was supposed to be for Tajiri. But it ended up coming out that he wasn't going to sign and Kendrick would, so they just threw it on Kendrick. And I think it would have been a better fit on a Tajiri, definitely, than what we saw with Kendrick. I mean, it was okay with Kendrick. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I've heard a lot about that. Tajiri would have been a good one. I think if they could have snagged him by now, that would have been perfect for Mysterio. The fact, by the way, we didn't mention 2 weeks in a row main event slot of Raw, Logan, for the Cruiserweights.
Yes, 2 weeks in a row. We've witnessed the main event continue to be all about the Cruiserweight division and 205 Live. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's like, one of them DDP promos from back in 2001, 2002. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And then with that smile on the teeth and all, But at the same time, you gotta... Those were creepy as hell. But to me, Enzo Amore... That's the main focus right now. Everybody's wondering what's next for Neville, what's next for this guy, what's this going to translate into, and then you have Kalisto.
That's another reason I felt like Kalisto was a bust because I was talking to you in the DMs earlier, like we were discussing it. We hadn't talked about it yet because I hadn't talked to you, and I was like, Well, I give him props for keeping the storyline continuous, because he did that restraining order thing. So that made sense that it would have to be an outside guy to sign to get a shot. So I like that. It
Yeah.
was just the payoff, Colin, was, Mysterio light.
Yeah, like it was. Honestly, I think I would have preferred if it was Sin Cara. I feel like that would have at least been like, oh, okay, cool. They got him from
Yeah.
SmackDown, because I mean, Kurt Angle made it seem like it was a big sign, like it was a big name. Kalisto was already on Raw. Like there wasn't anything like monstrous about like this reveal. He was already on Raw. He just needed to start wrestling the cruiserweights.
We could very well see Sin Cara pop up too, if not in this storyline, if not at least in the division, I would say, because why not? He
Well,
is
Sin
popular
Cara's
still
on
in Mexico.
SmackDown. Sin Cara's on SmackDown. That's why I was like, okay, at least it was a jump ship type of move. At least that's something.
Yeah. But needless to say, that's what went down this Monday on Raw. They tried to shock everyone again.
Enzo Amore just murdering everyone on the microphone. That's just been the constant theme. Like every time Enzo goes out there, he slaughters the people in the division.
Officially, I would say, after everything, a heel now. Because we questioned it last week. Remember, guys were like, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I would say he's heel now, the way he's been talking to the fans. And what do you guys think?
I think he's like a heel face. He's a mix of both. Because people are still going to cheer him. People are still going to buy his merch. But he acts
I
like
hear more. I hear more boos than cheers now.
I feel like I'm with Logan. I feel like we're starting to hear more.
I heard more boos there, like on Monday then.
Depends on the city. It depends on the booking of when he is on the card, because the crowd's always dead for anything on 205 Live, except for Enzo Amore, usually. This week, this crowd was on 205 Live. It's just that. Let's get right into it this week's show, 205 Live. Look, well, first of all, you had polls up. We got to get to the polls.
Yeah,
The ladies love it when Logan gets to his polls. So go ahead.
Right, that is so true. And then I guess we'll bring back cruising down memory lane next week, if that's okay.
Next week, let's bring it back. Let's take a week off, and next week we'll resurrect it. Cruising down memory lane. But the polls this week.
The polls, and don't forget, I got what if segment coming soon too. So I don't know if you want me to do it this week. I only have like 3 questions, and that's it. And it's basically like a hot seat segment. But my first poll that went up was, since adding Enzo Amore to 205 Live, will this give you a reason to tune in after SmackDown?
I voted yes, flat out.
I did too.
It's crazy because yes was actually the winner with 45%, and then no had 41%, and then 14% for maybe. So I guess, I mean, it was pretty close on yes and no, but maybe was just, I shouldn't even made it one, basically.
Well, because I think, say what you want, whether you're salty on the decision to put the strap on him, whether you're all for it, it's got everyone talking, and it is putting intrigue into it. They have done a good job at that. I think sprinkling in Braun on the YouTube clip and stuff like that, it definitely took people that usually disregard cruise control segments, and they're like, oh shit, so they took a chance to get some new eyes. It seems like it's worked to capitalize with. I haven't seen where like the viewership came in this week or anything. Logan's a stat guy. I don't fucking know.
I haven't really heard much on 205, so just.
But I mean, it's definitely a dead. It's floating right now. The show. It's not doing good, I would say, by any means. But people are talking about it more than they were a month ago, if anything. Even with an Akira Tozawa fucking title win.
And a lot more of the guys with their characters, they're unleashing more of a vicious side, and we've seen that in recent weeks and the last month or so.
And we'll get to that.
Yes, we did. We'll get to that. And then we also had my last poll was, who's the better talent out of these 4? Was it TJP, Rich Swann, Jack Gallagher, or Cedric Alexander? And this is why I wanted to make this the last one that I even talk about, because at 11% Rich Swann, I thought Rich Swann would be like up there with the other, with maybe the closest to winning, but he wasn't. 11%, he was the last one. TJP was 15%, Cedric Alexander 22%, and at a big 52%, Jack Gallagher won the poll.
Wow.
That's who I voted for. I voted for Gallagher.
I didn't vote.
I'm guessing Jack, to me, I guess with the vicious side that he's decided to bring out and becoming a heel now, I guess maybe that catapulted him to stardom more with fans.
I
I don't know.
like it. I like his character. The reason I picked because it was between Gallagher and Alexander for me is like who's the better talent? Arguably, I mean Alexander is really good in the ring, so obviously he's a top contender there. But for me, I go with like who I prefer watching, and right now I preferred watching Jack Gallagher over Alexander because honestly, Alexander has not done a whole lot in the cruiserweight division. He was in that god awful feud with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox, and that was it. Gallagher has kind of stayed on the show because he was having the feud with Kendrick, and now he turned heel, which I did not see coming. And I think it's a great, he was already popular, the fans already liked him, but now with the heel turn, it's an even bigger incentive to watch him and see where it's going to go.
You said Nazi unintentionally, by the way. I don't know why my mind heard you say Nazi, but
when did I say Nazi?
You did not see coming. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm stupid.
No,
I agree, though.
To
I
me,
agree. I
go
didn't
ahead,
vote.
Travis.
I didn't fucking vote. You know why, Logan. Tell everyone why I didn't vote. I'm ashamed that you didn't do it.
Because I did not have Drew Gulak on the poll.
Exactly right. What are you thinking? What are you doing?
Because
the man gets all these segments every week and he's not even in the running. Come on.
Last month I posted 2 polls that Jack.
Every poll should have Gulak, if that's what you're going to say. If that's your argument, null and void. Every poll should have more Gulak. Okay. Everything should have more Gulak. This week, Gulak kind of didn't impress me. He didn't really do anything, to be honest.
I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna tell you guys what I think personally about each one of these 4. To me, when you look at gimmick, it's Rich Swann. To me, right now, is Rich Swann. TJP is that little 15-year-old boy who likes video games that you don't take seriously at the end of the day at recess.
He's like Markiplier or PewDiePie. That's like his gimmick. He's a streamer.
Yeah.
For the record, I saw his entrance in 2K18. Holy shit, the dab is so fierce.
You know what? Like, can we talk about 2K18 real quick after you said?
Oh yeah.
Well,
go ahead about the dab real quick. Go ahead about the dab.
Oh. No, I'm done there. I'm just saying the dab is really solid in his entrance.
Logan, I'll let you definitely finish. I just want to say one sentence. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up now because I've watched a lot of gameplay footage on it, and it looks exactly like last year's. But go ahead, Logan.
and actually, Brandon said the same thing. He said it looks like it's 9 months outdated, and they should just take off the 18 and put 17 back on the damn fucking.
And they totally Houdini'd it on the fucking commercial trailer where some of the graphics, the lighting, the textures look so much better than they do in the actual gameplay on the entrances. Nakamura's entrance is terrible. I watched. I was like, Jesus.
Holy shit! Nakamura's entrance is so long.
It's terrible. It's
longer than the Undertaker's. I shit you not. It's longer than the Undertaker's entrance.
I long for the days of like SmackDown versus Raw 06 where the crowd would actually react if it's a heel or a face, or the pops would make sense. And they've never gotten that right. It's been that long. And that's like PlayStation 2. It's little things that make games like that so great as far as wrestling games, I feel like. Not to turn this into the reset button.
But no, hell, why not? But for me, when I heard that Cesaro's entrance is not even with Sheamus, and he's in a suit, I'm like, yeah, that is so outdated.
We sound like complete bitter fucking nerds. I just wanted, plus the fact that Hardy's are DLC and they've been around forever now since Mania.
Okay, for the record, Sheamus and Cesaro do have a tag team entrance together. They do have that. It is in the suits, not the kilts, but I mean, what can you do? I'm still gonna buy the game. I buy the game every year, regardless of what the fuck happens. I mean, the loading screens suck.
Oh,
they look worse. They're longer this year, but
like I said, I will wait until Black Friday. Just saying.
But yeah, there it is, Logan. The other guys, you covered TJP, the streamer, the other one, and you had 2 left. I think.
Jack Gallagher right now to me is just that guy that is intense. Now the character's alright, the gimmicks. I hate. Well, me and Travis talked about it. We do not like what he wears in the ring while he wrestles.
He's wrestling in a suit now. He's my favorite fucking person. I love him.
For fuck's sake.
He wrestled in a full suit.
This is the part where Colin nuts, but he should really go to bed because no girl's ever gonna win nut. Okay.
We forgot to mention too that now that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the fact that we had purple ropes to begin with, now with the pink, it looks like they're wrestling inside an Easter egg. I'm sorry. I know it's for a good cause, but I'm just saying what everyone else wants to say.
That and Susan G. Komen are a bunch of bitches. So
yeah,
I mean,
the Komen Foundation's bullshit. It's a bunch of fucking crooks.
That also, what I hate the most is the fact that they're trying to make the Ultimate Warrior out to be some great person, when in actuality he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I think we went into that. We went pretty hard on the Warrior, or we need to at some point. Just a podcast of Bury the Warrior, because I'm all about that. And we saw the Warrior. We saw Akira Tozawa in like a cringy Breast Cancer Ultimate Warrior. God, that shirt was cringe. Like, really?
Oh yeah.
But anyway. Jack Gallagher in slacks. He's billed as like this world. He wrestles even like this World of Sport British style. Okay. It's personal preference for me. I can get why you like it, Colin, but for me, when I see someone in clothes, I think of like a hardcore wrestler type or something like that, and I get why they're doing it to bring out the. I don't know. I think sooner than later we're gonna see him in wrestling gear again, because Vince isn't gonna let that shit slide. I don't think he's not gonna be like. I don't know. I don't know. It's just not working for me right now.
Put him in plain black tights and plain black boots, and that's it.
Make him a Regal. Make him a little Regal. Go ahead, Colin.
It makes him boring. It's the fact that he's like a vicious heel right now, and the fact that he's wrestling in the suit.
But if you're a heel, you're supposed to be boring, because not boring gets you babyface reactions, and the best heels, they always try to be bland. I feel I don't know.
Okay, but look at it this way: Roman Reigns, he's stayed with the Shield stuff, and now he gets a reaction, but it's not the kind of reaction like, okay, obviously he's not a heel technically, but it's still not the reaction he gets. Jack Gallagher is someone who, he's a heel, but he has a character. You're supposed to hate him, and you do. Same with Elias Sampson. He has a character, and that's why people boo him. He's a heel for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I feel like, but I think the fact that he wrestles in fancy slacks and blah, 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 and somehow that's going to get him over as a babyface. Like you say, you think you like it. It's not boring, and I think, and that's you, and you're like us. You're picky with your wrestling, what you're into now. So like a casual, I'm sure they'd be into it. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of with Logan. Like, would just make him boring. Just give him like William Regal's old heel attire in a way. Not the red color, but like the black. I don't. At the end of the day, we're arguing about what the guy's wearing, I guess. There's more important things in the world going on. And real quick, I not to totally flatten out the show, but kind of feel like it necessary to mention Lance Russell passed away yesterday. I did a little video tribute. Haven't talked about it on any podcast. I didn't even know if you two knew a lot about Lance Russell. I didn't get introduced to Lance a lot until I was like, or later on. Like I said yesterday with Jay Baca, by the way. So thanks for coming on for the spontaneous, well, not spontaneous, but the nice one-on-one unusual debate live stream. It was a good time. Check out Jay at Tweets of Jay Baca. But Lance Russell, rest in peace. And of course, man, all of our thoughts go out to the victims in Las Vegas this weekend. Another terrible tragedy. Like I said, not to kill the show, but that it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just
definitely.
On a lighter note, shout out Snare X in the chat.
Thank you for man in the chat, Colin. My internet is only really giving me enough guff right now that I can stream and not have two laptops up. So I appreciate man in the chat, and welcome Snare. And let's try to pick the show back up. Sorry guys, like I said, not try to kill it. 205 Live. What went down on the show this week? Logan opened up 205 Live.
Well, 205 Live. Oh, you do realize this show was so bad. Honest to God, I didn't even make a fucking thing.
We didn't even get to the opening of the show, and you're already like, fuck it, I'm just going to bury it. So go ahead.
It was so bad. I mean, Uh, just why? Why me? You know?
Nancy Kerrigan over here. Why all of us? I feel like we're the last three that have hung on this long and still watch 205 Live. Because we have to. Not, I wouldn't say the show was shit. I would never say go out of your way to watch anything.
It was kind of just a filler episode.
Exactly.
It revolved around the whole Enzo Amore storyline, but that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah, basically Enzo Amore.
I did enjoy the Jack Gallagher and Cedric Alexander match, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Well, it started off with Enzo Amore's issues with Kalisto, and that's basically what started off 205 Live with a very, very, I guess, poorly executed match against Arya Davari, in my opinion. But I don't know what you guys think of that match.
Okay. And on the Enzo promo, I felt like they're getting it more. They didn't give him as much time, and I think like, we've been complaining about that past couple weeks. They still gave him a good amount of time, but I feel like not as long-winded. He did have some good digs, the Lucha Leprechaun, stuff like that. Like, I agree with what you said at the top of the show, Colin. I feel like he is. He's not totally, like, he's not cringy. Like, Enzo's still doing a good job. It's just less is more again.
Right.
The match.
Is actually one of the few times. This is one of the few times I actually was like, okay, Enzo, you are going a little long here. Let's get it going. This was because typically I love watching Enzo Amore talk. I find him very entertaining as far as his promos go. But this was one of the few times where Kalisto was like, dude, you talk too much. I was just like, all right, yeah. This is a good example.
Have they decided on Kalisto's fucking music yet? Is it me?
Yeah, I noticed that. He had a different one on Raw, and then he had the Lucha Dragons theme on 205. I was like, wait, hold on, what?
I feel like, didn't he have his techno theme, his raver theme coming out on 205 Live and he won the match? He had his old theme. Like, is he fucking Mankind? He's got different entrance music and actually be like, no, I don't know. Which music do you prefer?
I mean, the techno isn't terrible. I prefer it over the Lucha Dragons theme just because it, branches Kalisto out as his own person.
Anything that gets him off the fucking show.
I feel like they should incorporate the Lucha chants, which obviously are over with kids and all that, into the techno theme. Just update it.
Right.
Something like that. But yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the only one to notice that. About the match, though, Logan, you totally thought it was shit. I didn't think it was shit. I thought it was a little sloppy on Kalisto's part. The SDS was a little sloppy looking, the Selena Del Sol or whatever. I don't know. It's Arya Davari. For me, we all know how I feel about Arya Davari. Colin, what did you think of Kalisto's first match inside the Easter egg on 205 Live?
I thought it was all right. Nothing special. I was like, okay, cool. They're just going to feed him Davari. I, for a brief second, thought, holy shit, they're going to bury Kalisto for a second. Because there was a spot in the match where Davari took control, went up to the top rope, actually hit like the 450. And I was like, oh my God, are they actually just going to make Kalisto lose his first match? And then he kicked out. I was like, oh, damn.
Well, it's not Logan booking back there. If it was him, he would have fucking...
No, hang on. Don't you do this to me, Travis. The only time I thought Arya Davari was anything of being relevant was when he beat Neville. And that was me giving him an opportunity to become a star. And look what that got us. He did not become nothing but a second thought or a maybe 100th thought. And there's not even 100 stars on that division. So that speaks volumes.
Does it? Does it speak volumes?
Yes.
Volumes.
But the match, it was what it was. Kalisto obviously got the win, and we'll see where that goes. I don't know. I don't. There's nothing else really Enzo and Kalisto related that happened on the show. Any last thoughts on it this week about Kalisto possibly holding the belt, which he won't get it.
I hope he loses. I have a deep feeling that he'll win the belt off of Enzo, but I feel like this is just a feud to get Enzo over. I think Enzo will retain the belt in the long run, but they might make Kalisto take it off him, and then Enzo will win it back. So we'll see.
Well, we know what the fuck the kickoff show of fucking match is.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
man.
telling
right
me.
on cue.
I You guys are picking winners, right? I'm picking Braun Strowman to destroy them both.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. Just do that on every
Oh,
match.
can,
Women's match.
can the power go out? Can the power go out during this match, please? For fuck's sake.
We'll see. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think they're going to have the match on the pre-show or wherever, and I think it's going to they're going to do a cat and mouse thing like Crash Holly style with Enzo, like Colin suggested, seeing this chase go on for a little bit. I think the end game with this title run for Enzo, the way they've booked him, and we'll get to that as Cedric Alexander. I think that's the brick wall. I think that's where the belt goes next, and that's where it should go. But um, as far it is now, it's become official. I want to make this my favorite part of the show for Cruise Control each week. But before we get to my favorite part, Logan, you told me off air you had a special announcement. Let's get to that because I want to do it before we forget about it at the end of the show. So, what was your you had a trick up your sleeve you're telling me about?
A little trick up my sleeve to hopefully get some watchers and listeners to the podcast.
Viewers.
I'm in the process of, viewers, whatever. I'm going to attempt to get some more independent shows involved with my podcast and Slam Pigs and the Kayfabe Today podcast with Eric and Broski. Well, aka Broski. So this Saturday I will be going.
Broski, aka Broski. I'm sorry.
I said Eric, aka Broski.
No, but Logan's gone out. He's to talk to a couple local guys around here. MCW is another one, Maryland Championship Wrestling, all those guys. Logan's reached out. We're going to try to get some interviews, try to do some collabs with a few indie promotions and see what comes out of it. Look forward to having some talent on here and see what comes out of it. And good work, Logan. Look at that on the spot street team for Cruise Control right there. Always getting the hot scoops. Here, but as promised, my favorite part each week. Drew Gulak. And Mustafa Ali this week, Logan. We've seen much better, flat out of these two. Flat out, much better. This started with another slideshow. We've seen much better slideshow out of these two, Colin. Interrupted by Mustafa Ali to really a nothing reaction, which is surprising considering on that with the Braun, like they gave him his spot to get his finish as the closing out of that. So, I feel like a couple months ago he'd be getting better reactions than now, but because he's really good. He's a guy that surprised me, who I never thought from the CWC tournament would really, you know what I mean, that even be here. But what did you think of Gulak and Ali, and of course Tozawa and the Ultimate Warrior breast cancer T-shirt and this segment this week?
Well, the T-shirt itself, it was crap. Ultimate Warrior's crap. It's all crap. But I like the feud they have going on between Gulak and Tozawa. I really have to say I enjoy Drew Gulak more and more each week. I'm loving like the characters, the slideshow, the signs he keeps bringing out. I think it's great. Drew Gulak is quickly becoming one of my favorite cruiserweights to watch. And one of the other things is I enjoyed a few weeks ago when they were doing like the beatdown on Enzo. When he went to stop Mustafa Ali from doing the flip. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute," and then the crowd popped when he was just like, "Oh, fine, whatever." So I enjoy his character. I think it's great. And as far as the match goes, it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it for what it was. I was always glad to see Mustafa Ali getting a match, which is far and few between these days.
Yeah,
Honestly, God, I popped when Ali actually did all kinds of these flips, and then all of a sudden, Drew Gulak looks back and goes, "No flipping." And it's funny as hell.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh my God, that was funny."
It's true. It's true. That's why it's my favorite part each week. It's things like that. I don't. Is it talked about enough? The fact that, say what you want about the division he's in, the cruiserweights in general. The fact that on every dead crowd for 205 Live, Akira Tozawa's chant manages to get people behind it. And I think there's a lot more to it than anyone's really talked about. And I think that just speaks to wrestling fans and just the art of wrestling and connecting in general. You can literally make a noise from your mouth. And if you connect with fans, that'll get over. And then this is a case of that through and through. The guy barely speaks English. He speaks one of the better English out of the Japanese talent they have, I would say. He's not terrible, but it just goes to show you can really If you try in wrestling hard enough, connect and get over with anything. Literally, you're just making a noise. Like I hear people make that noise in a bar all the time, just being drunk. But it worked. Something about that clicks. I think because it's simple. It's not. It speaks to adults and kids. It's something both. I don't want to say can relate to because how do you relate to a sound? But you know what I mean. Like I think it's just simple and one of those things. Just like with the yes chant that transcended across all demographics. It was simple and everybody got it. I don't know what there is to get and going but they get it. Fans are definitely they're chanting with it. Problem is they're not watching it enough when he's on television or reacting for a pop just to do that chant. I feel like Logan. I don't know.
Tozawa was a big inspiration to a lot of guys with the chant because they realized that, hey, look, there's a chant. Let me get a chant going. Maybe I'll make something relevant of myself. But at
Not
the end,
every guy can make a random sound out of his mouth. So it's kind of like
yeah,
now that he did it,
exactly. So
that's kind of out the window.
yeah, but some of them do act like that.
Yeah.
For me, Tozawa was okay as champion, but I with his English and all that and
No.
his promos, it just
Don't
wasn't.
you dare blame that bust on him. That was their fault and their
Yeah,
stupid
that
ass
I
booking.
wish that whole title
I'm not.
never happened.
They did.
I'm not saying anything negative towards him being on commentary because that was totally not his fault. That wasn't his call to be on commentary.
What they did
That
with that,
one,
the equivalent to that is like, okay, you spend all this time, you go online, you get a recipe for this awesome cake you've never made in your life, and you take your time, blah blah blah, and it looks delicious. It's finally all your hard work's going to seem worth it. It's done. The oven's going off. You pull it out. As soon as you pull it out, you just throw it on the floor, and it's ruined. That's what they did. They didn't even give it a chance. They gave it a half a week. It's something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, but
Oh.
definitely, it was legit. It was from that Monday night, it was Monday night. He won it,
And then he
he
lost
lost
at the
it
pay per
that
view.
Sunday.
He held
Yep.
it for 6 days.
Yep. I don't get it. They should capitalize on this chant. They should. I mean, they gave him that. I just don't get it. I don't know what they were thinking. No fucking
It was
clue.
it was one of the most useless title reigns in wrestling history.
It's
It
like
was
when.
one of them reigns. Oh, go ahead, Travis.
No, go ahead, Logan. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it was one of them reigns where it was like, oh, let's shock the fans, and then it was just shit.
It's going to
Okay.
turn into one of those reigns where it's like Kane. He beat Steve Austin in King of the Ring '98, but he lost to the next light. So it's like it never really happened. It's going to turn into that. It already feels like that. Like
Exactly.
it never happened. You know. But dumb. Shame on you, WWE, for that booking. But that was the Gulak segment with Tozawa. Tozawa literally saying nothing but his chant. By the way, he distracted Gulak in the middle of the match. This gave Mustafa Ali the opportunity to get the win, and this was weird. I mean, I know he's a heel, but to just lay there, and he was conscious. He was like looking up at. I don't know. Gulak could have at least rolled out. There's my only criticism really of Gulak. Believe it or not, I got a criticism. I don't like how he just laid there. It was cheesy and hokey. But other than that, I mean, filler segment with an okay match that two guys that have much better before, really, and not much else to say on this. Really, I mean,
That is true. I think after that it was Dasha talking to Brian Kendrick.
Dasha. God,
Yeah.
even the name just irritates me.
Yeah.
Dasha. Just
Colin.
decide what you want. You want your name to be Danielle or Sasha or Tasha. Like, come on, don't
Colin.
Dasha. I think a Mrs. Dash.
Colin,
a season.
Dasha, Michael, Colin, the names are fucking retarded.
Anyway, Dasha and who was with her backstage?
Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick.
Oh, it gets even better for you, Logan. Brian Kendrick. Yes.
Fuck him.
He's now
Shout out
the
shout out to my
mentor.
boy Jack, favorite cruiserweight, favorite wrestler.
He's now he's like the coach in Punch Out, where he's the mentor, I guess, for Gallagher. This was Jack Gallagher and Cedric Alexander, Logan, this week. Best part of the show, I feel like, and we talked about it earlier. I think you agree, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually excited to see Jack versus Cedric because of the fact that it's 10 times better than anything Brian versus Cedric ever. But the only thing is, like we mentioned about the suit and all that. To me, I guess I wanted more of this. I wanted more out of this, and I guess I didn't get it. I don't know. Something fell flat for me, so I just question.
It might
I
have also
question
been the fact that it was like on the tail end after SmackDown and the very end of 205 Live, pretty much. Like maybe it came off like that for you. Because and by the way, when I'm like, this is the best part of the show, I don't like really mean the match. I just feel like the intensity of Cedric, which got him like DQ'd or whatever, was like the best
Yeah,
part. And
yeah.
that
Cedric
speaks to how bad
Alexander's
this
and
week's show was, I guess.
his intensity was up a notch. But like I mentioned, in recent weeks, that's what we've been getting from all the talent, which is not a good thing and it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. So, in the long run, I want to see these two again in the ring, but maybe you got to give me something else. You got to
Colin,
give me something.
I feel like it could be a bad thing. I think that that turning it up a notch every match is this 2013 ROH style match or whatever. That could nullify your product too. So when it happens like this, it doesn't feel as special. I guess in a way, you take a risk of that.
I feel like if they were to mix in the right amount of like regular matches and cruiserweight classic style matches, people would actually be interested in watching.
Yeah, I think the formula they think this great key they found to do 205 Live with right now with the state it's in, have the title feud with two established somewhat for a main roster 205 two main roster guys,
Yeah.
and have the undercard like CWC matches. That way, it builds those guys and it makes you want those guys to see chase to the belt to these main roster guys in a way. I don't know.
Right.
That's the way they see it. I
Give
don't know.
them a reason.
That's not the way the show should ever have been, though. I feel like it should have still been that this is the show you went to when you want that every match as a ROH style match. And I kind of have to agree, Logan, for 205 Live. I'm not saying do that on Raw or SmackDown, but for this, yes, I totally agree. It needs to be that way. And I think the second that they did that when the show first debuted last year with stuff like Alicia Fox, like you said, Colin, stuff like that, it totally fans were like, okay, I see where this is going. And they ducked out. They didn't even give it a chance. They like Vince just couldn't help himself. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't help it. God forbid it just stayed streamlined and just that CWC extension basically. But rose-colored glasses is never going to be that. They're never going to allow, I think, ever anything like that. The closest you're ever going to see to that kind of pacing in the bookings NXT. And that's as best as it's going to get, which is fine because NXT is pretty good, you know. But that's that. We wash our hands, gentlemen, of a lackluster episode of 205 Live this week. Coming out of this, as always, let's go around the board, starting with the man with the plan, continuous Colin Dunn. What do you grade this week's episode of 205 Live?
Are we just completely overlooking Alexander and Gallagher? Or are we not going to talk about that match?
Oh, we just did. I mean, if you want to, if you want to say more about it, go ahead. That's where we're at.
Oh,
by all means. I just didn't really have anything else on the show to talk about.
Oh, all right. I mean, as far as the match goes, I liked it. I like the storyline that they're doing with Alexander. I like that Alexander showed a more aggressive side to himself. When Gallagher was going to hit him with the umbrella, but Alexander stopped and said, screw it, and just beat the crap out of him. I enjoyed it. I thought, okay, cool. Now I'm interested in Cedric Alexander more because, like I said, I haven't been too enthralled with what he was doing. But now I'm like, okay, cool. I can get into this. As far as the episode goes, I give it like a B-. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either.
And that's totally on me, by the way. I just realized what I did. I totally forgot that we didn't cover that fully. Yeah, I've done 2. This is my second live stream today. I did like 2 yesterday, so I'm getting a little lost in my stuff. So all apologies, Colin. But yeah,
No problem.
I agree. As far as a grade, man, for this week's episode, I got to go flat out baseline, basic bitch C. It was a filler show. It was Kalisto's debut should have been with someone a little more that could go his style and compliment him better, I feel. You would think a guy like Daivari, who's more ground-based, would have complimented them. The thing about with Daivari, he has one of the worst frog splashes I've ever seen. He's not that good. He's really not that good. He just, I don't know. Nothing happened in show for me this week, Logan.
No, and that's why I gave this show a solid D. Something Colin will never give a woman. Okay.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Fuck it. Fuck it. No, I'm gonna give it an F for fuck's sake. Get better at fucking booking a damn show.
An F, for fuck's sake, a first ever. Dean Douglas, thank you, Logan. I do want to say, I want to thank the show, and I want to thank 205 Live for being so lackluster this week, because it gives us a chance to wash our hands clean of that, like we said, and talk about something that broke in the news today. The War Games, gentlemen. It's returning. Not spoiler alert, by the way. I mean, everyone's going to know anyway, but my God.
I mean, I got it. I have the the Ringside News app, and I just got out of my orientation for my job. I sit down to check my phone. First thing that I unlock it and I get notification: War Games coming back.
Okay,
What?
so I didn't read any spoilers. All I based this on, shout out to Robbie Radford, co-host on the Kayfabe Today podcast, and our DM. He sent the initial one, so that's how I found out. But it was just a picture, and all I saw was Sanity on the ramp and the AOP in the inside. So
I know who's in the match. Like, I don't know the story as why, but I know who's in the match.
Okay, go ahead. Fuck it.
It's so you got the Undisputed Era, which is first of all, they're doing it a little differently. They've done it before, but typically it's 4 versus 4 versus 4 versus 4. This one is 3 versus 3 versus 3. So you got the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish versus Sanity, which is going to be Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane. And then you have I'm curious to watch the show next month, because I want to know why these two are a pair. But the third team is the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong.
Oh,
which I think would technically make the Authors of Pain babyface now, at least because I assume this will be their last little thing before they get called up. So I mean, I'm interested to see where this goes and why it's happening. I know Sanity and the Undisputed Era have been having their back and forth, and I thought they were going to do the tag team titles with Fish and O'Reilly versus Eric Young and Alexander Wolf, but I also thought Adam Cole was going to be in the NXT title match. I now know who is in the NXT title match, which is a bit of a shocker, but I'll leave it.
Yeah, let's not do that one.
I won't spoil that, but you are going to be surprised. No one's going to be like, "Oh, that makes sense." I mean, I'm sure it will eventually, but I was like, sure, why not?
As long as it's not like No Way Jose or somebody, I could probably be okay with it.
God damn, I wish it was.
I know you do. I know that's the whole reason you're buying the new game too, because he's in it. No DLC either. He's just in the game.
No, the first match I'm gonna do.
I know. I saw that tweet. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the first. Actually, technically, I'm gonna make it a triple threat, because I promised. I said the first match I'm gonna do is No Way Jose versus someone, but I forgot. So now the new first match I'm gonna do is Kurt Hawkins versus Brock Lesnar versus No Way Jose for the Universal title, just because I love Kurt Hawkins and No Way Jose.
Is Sanity in the game?
Yeah, all 4.
Logan, I need you to do me a favor. When you get 2K18, I need you to take footage and send it to me of Killian Dane and Bray Wyatt coming out to the Bella Twins entrance, please.
For fuck's sake.
Oh no, I'm gonna get the game a few days after it gets out. Probably. I got you on that, Travis.
Or Bray Wyatt doing Naomi's entrance is awesome. Well, we will get to Bray Wyatt in a second, because I do want to talk about that. As far as the War Games, well, traditionally it was actually 5-on-5 when it started. They did that 3 or 4 team at Jesus Christ, it's 90. Because I have the DVD upstairs, which I want to talk about in a second too, because it's a little laziness in WWE's part. It was 3. They did 98 or whatever. Then they started doing that, but originally it was 5-on-5, and I like the concept of multi teams too. That's fine. And on the pictures we saw, the spoilers, it was on the NXT Titantron, for no one that's seen it. It showed War Games at TakeOver. And I'll go up, and I'll put a picture on Twitter later. I have the DVD that WWE put out. It's literally the exact same structure that the words are in. Everything, the same font. They just photoshopped in TakeOver. It's so fucking lazy what they did. And I will show you and expose you, WWE.
I feel like alternatively there would have been fans who would have been like, oh, they should have used the older version because,
Why not? It had a fucking tank in it. It's just sitting there in the warehouse, not getting used. You own it. What are you doing? Ugh. Bray Wyatt is transgender, apparently, guys. Let's get into that before we get out of here today.
Okay, here's the thing. All right, first of all, I like where the story is going, and I read what Pro Wrestling Sheet had to say about it. I enjoy everything going on. except the fact that he's going to be announced as Sister Abigail. That part's stupid.
I'm confused. I've heard conflicting reports. Sage Beckett, I have heard, has been called up to be Sister Abigail. I heard that was her laugh in the promo this week. I have heard that's what they're going with. But now this came out today. It's the first I saw it. I saw a lot of people talking about Bray Wyatt. I'm like, oh shit, who did he bang now? So I go on and know it's like, he's what? Like, I don't, like, and by the way, I'll talk about on regular Slam Picks this week. Usually I kind of zonk out on Bray Wyatt promos. Excellent fucking promo this week, Bray Wyatt. Maybe one of his best ever. Maybe. I liked it. I'll talk about it this week in Slam Picks. There's incentive to check it out with me and Michael. But, yeah, then Hell in a Cell post show, by the way. Lee returns. Logan, what do you think about this rumor? Well, real quick, Colin, what do you think of it as Sage Beckett? Then we'll get to Logan. Do you like that too?
I mean, I don't think I don't think there's ever gonna be like a physical Sister Abigail. I don't think it'll ever be like a real character. However, if they brought in Sage Beckett for it, I think it would be great. I would love that because Sage Beckett, I feel like would fit the role perfectly. As far as what's supposedly gonna happen, I like it too. I like the whole thing, Balor has the demon, so now Bray Wyatt's going to bust out Sister Abigail. He's going to have, like, his own face paint. The only thing that I don't care what they do with this, so long as Wyatt wins. Because if Wyatt loses this match, he's officially fucking killed. He's done. There's nothing salvageable left.
Don't say that. I don't like to say that a lot.
But it's true. You're busting out Sister Abigail, to essentially be Bray Wyatt's demon. And if he loses, it's done. There's no point. The thing about the demon is when the demon... Oh, fuck. Now I just realized the demon would have to lose, which would be... Actually, no. The demon's lost before. The demon lost to Kevin Owens. Or no, Samoa Joe. So, I mean, it's not unheard of to have the demon lose. But the problem is Bray Wyatt needs to win. If Bray Wyatt's going to bust this out for the first time ever... He needs to win.
There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it without hurting both guys. I'm sure it'll be a TLC. Make it a tables match. Somehow Balor goes through a table. I don't think that there's a way to do it. It's complicated.
If it's a tables match where it's just as simple as like he slipped and fell, obviously they wouldn't do that. But I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that would be okay. But you can't pin Bray Wyatt.
You can't really do it. No, and I agree. Right now, you can. And you know what? They could say, WWE could be like, well, it's tricky to book Bray Wyatt like this right now. Well, it's your own fucking fault. The fact that we're still waiting on any kind of Sister Abigail reveal 3 years later. 3 years, by the way. I'm not saying like we've just been like impatient for a 6-month angle. 3 years. They're finally doing something with Sister Abigail besides just calling it a finisher or putting it in Ooga Booga, scary Randy Orton vignettes. No, they're going to do something. And like initially, yeah. When I saw this as the route they're going, I kind of was like, what the fuck? But Norman Bates is one of the most iconic horror characters ever. And Norman Bates essentially is this gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Exactly this gimmick. I'm not exactly going to shit on it yet. I made a joke on Twitter today. I put out a tweet with like Kamala without his paint and with his paint, blah, 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 how I think this angle is dumb. This angle is also dumb. I'm so over Logan, this man in paint. Finn Balor's not scary with paint, so what's the fucking point? What do you think about Wyatt and this hot take, this rumor?
I'm fired up, Travis. It's finally back. I'm finally bringing it back, motherfuckers. Just saying. To me, you're killing the cow and you're killing the horse. You're knocking down barrels of stupidity booking at its finest. Stop giving us stupid shit. And they do it every single week. They do something stupid. It's like Vince. I want to know who even brought this idea up to Vince.
Pat Patterson.
It was probably that Kevin Dunn. Oh, if it was Pat Patterson, it wouldn't be a woman. It would be a Sister Abigail.
Oh God.
Sister.
Sister. I don't know.
Sister Paul, Sister Michael, Sister Colin, something like that.
For fuck's sake.
I'm just saying. I'm done with giving us stuff that you think is going to be good when it's going to be shit. I'm tired of you giving us something that makes no sense. Give us Sister Abigail. Do not make Bray Wyatt be a cross-dresser.
So that's what you prefer.
Please.
You would prefer for the Sage Beckett rumors, like an actual physical Sister Abigail.
Yes, give me a physical Sister Abigail, and then maybe some people will get interest back in Bray Wyatt, because at this point right now, if he's a damn cross-dresser, I'm cross-dressing my way out of even being a fan of Bray Wyatt. I'm tired of, like,
How do you do
I
that?
was gonna
How do you
like
cross dress your way at, like, okay, like if I'm
doing it.
a fugitive and I'm on the run from the cops and I'm like I'm on a train and I want to get out of there quick, I'll dress like a woman. That's cross dressing your way out of something. And then I'll escape.
Yeah. I'm tired of being a fan, Travis, and just being frustrated. Frustration is a key
Oh,
to wanting to
frustration
take.
in WWE programming is like peanut butter and jelly. It goes hand in hand. If they gave us
And that
everything we want, I feel like in their defense, in a way, I feel like if we always got what we wanted, it would get boring.
The problem,
this booking though, come on now, this is just stupid.
the problem with having a physical Sister Abigail, and don't get me wrong, I would love to see.
Problem, Colin. There's no problem.
No, there
with
is. There is.
physical Sister Abigail. I don't care about her dying in a farm and Randy Orton putting her on fire inside of a little farm.
Well, she was
I don't
never
care.
alive. She's been a ghost this whole time, as I think.
I'm not trying to say it wouldn't make sense. I'm trying to say, like, the problem with it is, what the fuck is she gonna do? She can't get involved in the matches or it's a disqualification. Is she just gonna stand there and look intimidating? What is Finn Balor gonna do? Just look over and just get stunned in his tracks?
You're taking it the route of it's hard to have a female valet that they haven't done that China in a while, that hybrid where the woman puts her hands on the men. I think we're long overdue for a character like that. The thing is, are we in that era where we're not in that era where people are going to complain and this is wrong. How could you do this? Oh my God. We're going to get that if they do that, unfortunately.
You want to know what it adds to Bray Wyatt? It adds something that we've failed to have for a very long time, for over a year, even when he won the world champion.
A purpose?
A purpose. And you want to say why what's she gonna do? What is she gonna benefit from being having a physical Sister Abigail? That adds, okay, just listen, hear me out. Number one, that adds another element to the women's division on Monday Night Raw. Number two, it gives you fresh storylines.
I wouldn't put her on the women's division. I would keep her.
No, I wouldn't make her a wrestler. I mean, and for the record, Sage Beckett is a great wrestler. Sage Beckett is a great wrestler, and obviously, if she's not wrestling, yeah, that would kind of suck. But that's another issue with having a physical Sister Abigail. The girl under the costume, it would be pointless for her to be there. Honestly, if they're going to do this, I would rather they just put an actress or someone who's not even a wrestler.
They're not even that smart, because what they're going to do is they're going to make Bray a cross-dresser. And I don't know other term to call it. Excuse me, anyone. It's a fucking
I don't think he's going to come out dressed as a woman by any. I think it's just going to be some face paint and the fact that it's like, oh, it's the spirit of Sister Abigail inside Bray Wyatt. That's what's making him stronger.
I see a dirty hobo dress, like a dark brown kind of dress, caveman type thing. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I do.
All I'm saying is,
I've killed the show again.
Yes, you have. All I'm saying, okay, is if you add her to the women's division right now, it gives you another element to the division. And we need that. We need some.
No, we're gonna get. We just had a 32 women's tournament. We have women on standby. I don't think she needs to be in that. I think what they're gonna do, they're gonna have Bray Wyatt do the Norman Bates gimmick. I'll call it the Norman Bates gimmick, I guess. They're gonna do vignettes, and they're not even smart enough to use an actress. They're gonna use Sage Beckett in the vignettes, who's not an actress. So it's gonna come off hokier. You know what I'm saying? That's the WWE mentality. Keep it in house. It's cheaper. Why hire out? They take promo class. Fuck it. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like that.
This would be a perfect opportunity to have the physical Sister Abigail and then have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan come back to Bray Wyatt, and then bam, you could put them 4 versus Sanity when Sanity debuts.
Yeah,
Why
Now
not?
that's an idea.
We can all come to terms and agree that they're never going to do anything with Eric Rowan or Luke Harper aside from being around Bray Wyatt. I think it's proven now.
So why not
They're not
Adam
going to do anything with them at all at the rate they're going. Shit, when was the last time in all fairness, I believe Eric Rowan is still injured. I think, maybe. He's either injured or he's just not being used. But, I mean, Luke Harper
is one of the most talented guys on the roster, and they're not even using him.
They have more time in catering than they do in ring right now. And that's the route their career is going in WWE. They're hell of in catering talent. They'll clear out a buffet like nobody's business.
Did you see the tweet that Sage Beckett? Did you see what Sage Beckett tweeted during Raw?
Yes, that picture or whatever about the lies.
They're all lies, darling, because that's what Bray Wyatt kept repeating. Like, she lied to me. She lied to me. Something.
People are saying how no, she was saying that towards the rumors to get attention on herself too about her being like she tried to double spin it or something. Colin.
I mean, that could be a great way to do it too. Get the fans interested, but at the same time, just be like, "Oh, sorry about that."
That really is a really smart way to do that. Oh, I'm in the rumors. Let me use this and turn it around in a way. You know what I mean? That's.
Would it be a bad idea to have Sanity versus the Wyatt family like that?
I would love that.
I
think that would be a great match. I don't know what the story behind it would be, but as far as the match goes, I would think it would be great.
Me too.
I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't hurt having it on like a Survivor Series or something like that.
They'd have to rush that so fast. I mean, they're good at rushing shit, but when they rush stuff, it's not as good. The Survivor Series is right on the corner.
I would say next year's Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well.
But I just think a physical Sister Abigail. I'm gonna stick to my idea.
Let me tell you something. I flat out right here, the gut feeling I have for Bray Wyatt, I don't think he'll be in the company a year from now at this rate. I don't know his contract status, but if it runs out, I don't see him re-signing. I could see him totally being one of those guys like a Juice Robinson right now, who's doing much better in Japan. I think Bray Wyatt in New Japan could be good business. What's that group over there with Sakata and Los Ingobernables, blah, 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 whatever it's called, you know what I mean? Put him in that fucking group. My God. Him and Naito side by side.
No, the one I would love to see like Naito and Bray Wyatt as like a team. But I mean, I think personally, being like having seen New Japan, I think it would fit in more with Chaos. Chaos has like Evil and Bushi, and those are characters that are like a little out there, a little.
I thought they were in Escars no Blables or whatever.
No, that's that you got.
No, they are in that group. They're in that group.
No, I was totally confused. You're right. No, he would be a great fit for LIJ.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, they're in the. God,
no,
how do you fucking say it, Colin? Please, save it.
My fault.
How do you say the name of the group? Because I just cannot do it tonight.
Los Ibernales de Japan.
Oof.
They're close enough.
Jesus. I don't know. Do you think you could see? Do you have that feeling too? Like Brave, like kind of like Rusev too. I don't think will be there a year from now. Also,
I would if I see like if I wake up and headline Bray Wyatt gone from WWE, I would be like, oh, fuck, it took him long enough. And I could totally see him, taking the route of like Austin Aries or Juice Robinson, leaving, knowing, or Sami Callihan. All three. I mean, I can't say for Aries because I don't think his like 90 day is up yet. But I mean, for guys like Sami Callihan and Juice Robinson, they are great wrestlers, but they were in WWE. Obviously, Wyatt's more successful than both of them already in WWE. But I mean, at the same time, they're not being used correctly. I'm gonna leave and go do this somewhere else where I'll be used properly. And I think Bray Wyatt would be a great example of someone who leaves and does way better outside of WWE than they would inside.
Even a guy like Jack Swagger, not doing
killer,
but he's doing better than he was. And what's Sami Callihan's name? Jeremiah something.
In Lucha Underground, it's Jeremiah Crane. When it was in NXT, he was Solomon Crow.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was NXT. I just couldn't remember his new Lucha name. I knew it was Jeremiah something. But you're totally right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we'll get with this supposed Bray Wyatt Norman Bates rumor. But other than that, that's all.
Stupid shit.
That's really, guys, all I got this week. Unless there's anything you guys wanted to get into.
Well, I mean, I could mention Randy Orton wants to turn heel again and then go back face, then heel, then face, then heel, then face, then heel, then rock my recliner. Fuck this shit.
The cure for insomnia is Randy Orton. Move over, Ambien. Here's a Randy Orton match. Guys, we are out of time. Colin, real quick, we didn't shout out one of your co-hosts on your show, James Hebert, coming on last week. One more time, Colin, where can everyone check you out? All that good stuff.
You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. Check out my wrestling blog, Colin's Thoughts No One Asked For, .wordpress.com. Check me out on the Pro Wrestling Roundtable. It's going to get better, I promise.
There you have it. Thank you again, man, for taking time out of your schedule. Logan, Mr. 205 Live, where can everyone check you out? Oh, what's the stuff you do?
You guys can check me out on Twitter at Logan Myers144. Check me out on YouTube with Eric from Kayfabe Today podcast. Just go search Future Wrestling Podcast. Like, subscribe, and enjoy.
And with that, as always, follow me on Twitter, and thank you, Logan, as always. Follow me on Twitter at TheHibikkiTMD. Check out the Reset Button, Slam Picks Podcast, Cruise Control, Kayfabe Today, all that good stuff. Until next week, we're going to keep cruising along. Hopefully it gets better. 205 Lives in the books, and so are we. This is Cruise Control. See you then.